One mission I have in this world is to give you everything that you need to create the life that you desire. And what I am about to share with you today is probably one of the most important thing that you need to know that may change your well-being, your mental well-being. If you ever have depression or anything like this, if you have low self-esteem, this is really a game changer. So here we go. Hi, my name is Sophie and I have been a coach for over 15 years. I have taught all over the world, and this one thing that I'm about to share with you is so simple that most people just forget about it. So here we go. When you feel sad, upset, down, even sometimes angry, although not always, it's because the way you are thinking about the situation is not in alignment with who you truly are. Okay, let me say this again. When you are feeling sad, it's because maybe, let's say, something that you wanted is not happening. And so you're feeling sad, you're feeling disappointed about it. So let's look at the thought behind that. What is the thought? Oh, what I want is not happening, is not going to happen, right? So it's kind of an absolute statement, meaning that now you are making the statement, it's never going to happen. What you want is not going to happen. So of course it's making you sad, it's making you disappointed. So that emotion that you're feeling is telling you, stop thinking like this, because there is still a possibility either of you getting it later or having it in a different way than you imagined. Your inner being, your higher self, whatever it is you want to call it, is telling you, stop thinking like this. And the way it's telling you this is with that emotion. Okay, so I'm not going to say that this is the case all the time, but I'm going to say this is the case most of the time. If you start with this process of what is it that I'm thinking that's creating this emotion, a lot of times you will be able to change and get rid of that emotion, or change it to something, even just a little bit of relief. It doesn't have to be grandiose, but even just a little bit of relief, that will happen. Now, why would your inner being or inner self or higher self would be telling you this? That is because that is the part of you that is in direct relationship with what I call God, but you may call a benevolent universe, consciousness, whatever it is you call it. That's the part of you that's connected to it, meaning that it knows how your source is thinking about the situation or about you. So if you are feeling a negative emotion, it means that your source or your creator or whatever it is you are connected to is loving you in this process by telling you you are not thinking the right way. There is a better way to think about this that will actually make you peaceful about it. It doesn't have to be that suddenly you're going to feel super joyful and ecstatic, but more neutral about the situation. Yes, you are loved, and I wish more people knew this, but you are so loved, you are adored, you're cherished, and there is a source, there's a creator who wants you to know that when you're thinking something negative, there's always a better way, always a better way. Okay, so now that's something about yourself. But I know a lot of people are going to tell me, well, what about if the circumstance around me is obviously sad, like somebody dying? I mean, I recently lost a dear friend to COVID, and I understand that it's so heartbreaking when suddenly these dear beings are taken away from us. And I was really sad. And I prayed about it so much, I meditated on it. And I realized that I am sad, but it was selfish for me to be sad because I knew that person was in a much better place. And it was also not necessarily even in a better place, but just evolving at a different level or living at a different level than I was living. That was the first part. And who am I to say that I'm never going to meet that being again? That's very limited thinking. So just with those two concepts already, I was feeling better. That does not mean that the body is not crying, the body is not releasing that disappointment of not having that person there, but it does mean that you can start having more peace about it. And now, if you need to go through the grief process, if there is a part of you that needs to go through the emotions before you feel that relief, that's fine. I am only giving you a little indicator of the hope that is there for you. That's all I'm doing. I'm not saying you need to change your process, okay? All right, now let's move on to how to use this to create the life that you desire, since you know that's my target, right? Okay, so when you are making choices toward the life you desire, you will feel something about the choices you're making. It could be hope, it could be great gratitude, or it could be nervousness, anxiety, insecurity. And I really truly believe that unless you feel good about your decision, you should not make that decision. Now, that being said, feeling good does not mean you're not going to be nervous about it. Being nervous is not a negative emotion. It is simply the idea that you're going into an unknown area of your life. That's all it is. So you can go ahead and make the decision, feel good about it, and still be nervous. I think there's an expression that says, feel the fear and do it anyway. So that's what I'm talking about. There's that, like, even if you feel the fear, if you feel good about the decision, you can still do that. Now, this is really, really cool because your inner being, your higher self, knows way ahead of you if the decision you're about to make is good for you, is going to actually bring you what you want, or is going to take you away from what you want. So let's say that you're being offered a job that's like amazing and great benefits and great pay and great people, but there's something inside of you that does not feel right about it. Okay, that is your inner self. That is you knowing maybe in the future what will happen. Maybe the company will fail, or maybe the people you're going to be working with will do something illegal. You don't know, but your inner being knows. Your higher self knows because it's in connection with your source. So it's very important that you listen to that. Now, if you make that decision, that's fine. You will make that decision. There's no wrong or right choice. You can just go ahead and make that choice. But you have been warned, you have been told, you have been shown what to do. This makes the process really easy. So let's say you wake up in the morning and you start feeling not good. I know that some people say you're picking up on whatever it is around you in the world, and you're aware of all of that. And that's true. Sometimes that's what it is. However, there is something else. There's another thought process that I'd like to point out to you, and you may not acknowledge it right away because it's kind of like in the background. The thought process is this. There are a lot of bad things happening in the world, and I cannot do anything about it. What? Think about this for a second. If that's what you're thinking, of course you're not going to feel good about it, right? If there's a lot of things in the world that are not going well and you cannot do anything about it, that would make me very depressed, right? So that's the first thought. Now, do I believe you can do something about it? Yes, I do. And I know I'm not the only one. There are so many things that can be done. Like in the last few months, we have seen entire populations wake up to some of the toxic relationships, some of the words, some of the culture that we just maintained without by closing our eyes. And today we're like, that's enough, right? So there's always something we can do about it. So that's the number one. Number two, it's a sense of overwhelming. Oh my gosh, there's so many bad things going on in the world. I wonder if something bad is going to happen to me. That too is terrible thinking, because that means you're not thinking about the possibility of you actually getting it right, or you doing something well, or you actually taking care of yourself, right? You're letting the environment, you're letting the situation overwhelm you. It's very disempowering, and that does not feel good at all. So when you wake up and you start your day and you start like feeling, when you're feeling, if it's negative, there is a thought behind that. Don't just be, oh, I'm just aware. That's not enough. Being aware of something. So what? Being aware. That doesn't mean you have to feel sad about it or bad about it. If you're aware, that means you have a thought about this. Look at the thought and really start being aware of how you can change that thought, okay? So we looked at, what just the main thing is, what am I thinking about? And my inner being, my higher self really is showing me with the emotions I have that what I'm thinking about is not the most loving way, it's not the most productive way. So that's number one. Number two, this applies to everything, not just the things that happen that make you upset, but also what you want to create in the world and what you want to see, and let your inner being, your higher self, guide you toward those things that actually bring you joy or even peace. That's how you know that it will be a positive experience. Now, I do want to say, because I know I have given you some concepts and ideas that I did not discuss. So the first thing that I want to just close with is your thoughts matter, okay? What you're thinking matters. Your emotions matter. What your emotions are not only just showing you how you're thinking, but they're also showing you how your body is reacting to things, and your body is also connected to your inner being and connected to source. So you really want to pay attention, because sometimes you won't have the time to get in your head and capture your thoughts. Your body will be way ahead of you and will actually give you the information way ahead. So pay attention to what your body is saying. If you're crying, your body is saying, wait, you're not in alignment with who you truly are. And it's just a matter of like, okay, I'm going to stop for a second. I'm just going to stop, not move forward, not even think about what it was that I was thinking, and just stay present with my body. And 95% of the time, when you stay present, whatever it is that you're experiencing, either you'll get an amazing awareness about it, or it will go away. All right, so those are things that I wanted to mention. In another video, and I have a series of videos about faith and spirituality, but in another video, I will explain how your belief about about a very loving source, creator, God, how that can affect your whole life. So if you are doubting, if you're not sure that there is such thing, please let me know in the comments so I can make that video soon. But I really want you to know you are loved. And if you need to hear it today, I love you. I love you. I love who you are in the world, because who you are makes my world better. Thank you and have a great day.